So after a disappointing end to a disappointing season, Manchester United fans certainly need a lift, and Ineos will be hoping that this news can provide exactly that. Matheus Cunha is coming to Old Trafford, and with him he brings goal contributions in the past 2 Premier League seasons, all from within that rather familiar formation. So the only question left is how good is he? So when we talk about Cunha's ball carrying and his dribbling, we're talking about one of his best attributes. His attribute which really gives him a reputation not only in the Premier League but in Europe as one of the best ball carriers really anywhere in world football, an amazing player at picking the ball up and driving at the heart of the opposition. I think what's important with Cunha's carrying is that there is always intent behind it. He isn't someone who carries the ball sideways laterally across the pitch for the sake of it. He always plays with intent. He wants to attack the opposition. He wants to commit opposition defenders and really drive forward and penetrate the opposition defense. In terms of the way that he looks to do this, Cunha is not necessarily the most aesthetic dribbler you're ever going to see. He's not someone who plays with real agility, but there is a power to the way that he carries the ball, and importantly, his changes of direction are very strong. Combine that with his upper body strength and his broad shoulders, Cunha is very difficult to stop when he gets going. And again, it's almost like the ball is like a bit of a magnet to him. He just finds a way through, even when it looks like he shouldn't really be able to. And again, that's a combination of power, technical ability, but also that upper body strength that he uses to protect the ball in these situations. Now what this does is it gives Cunha a real aura with the way that he carries the ball. Opposition defenders know that they have to get towards him. You can't let Cunha carry the ball towards you because he will hurt you, and this creates a real tactical gravity. Teams know that it takes 2, maybe even 3 players to get towards Cunha to close him down. Of course, if 2 defenders are committing to Cunha, that is going to create room for someone else, so that is one of the tactical impacts that Cunha can have on this team. If I am just to be critical on one aspect, it would be the fact that Cunha is very often dribbling and driving inside the pitch, which can become a little predictable. He's not really a player to pick the ball up, isolate a fullback in a versus 1 situation, get chalk on his boots and then hugs a touchline. That's not really how Cunha likes to play. He is someone who wants to be in the heart of the action, in the stick of it, right in the center of the pitch. So for this to work at Manchester United, we will need a wingback that is able to provide the width on a regular basis. Should we be able to provide that, Cunha will be one of the best ball-carrying players literally on this planet. Now when it comes to Cunha's passing, there are 3 areas that I want to look at. That's his short passing, his long passing, but also his crosses into the penalty area. We'll start off with the short passing, where I feel that Cunha is a very competent player. Yes, an aggressive player, someone that likes to move the ball forward, and we'll come back to that in a second, but still very competent. Someone who looks for 1-2s in the final third. He's all about combination play. So yes, as we've seen already, he is a very strong ball carrier, but that does not mean he is selfish. He knows when to release the ball and use his teammates, particularly when he does find himself on the rare occasion in wider positions. Again, Cunha isn't a player that likes to attack the fullback in these areas. So instead what he will look to do is play 2s with his wingback, releasing the ball and then attacking the space before then receiving the ball again. This is how Cunha will look to operate with his short passing. Now in terms of his creativity in the final third, Cunha is not a primary creator. He isn't a Bruno Fernandes or a Kevin De Bruyne or a Mesut Ozil. He is not that sort of player. And I think for him to take his game to the next level, he does need to add more subtlety to his play, particularly against low blocks. Although to be fair, he hasn't really had to do that too much at Wolves due to the transitional nature of the way that the team plays. But I think for him to really succeed at Manchester United, he will need to develop in this area. Now in terms of his long passing, this is something that Cunha leans on quite a lot. We can see in the stats that he tends to play these long passes more often than his peers playing in a similar position. However, the consistency on these long passes are slightly questionable. He's not a bad long switcher of the ball. You know, he's a good ball striker. He hits the ball well as he looks to switch the play, but sometimes it's just a little bit too looped and easy for the opposition to intercept. If Cunha can add this to his game, if he can improve the consistency here, it could be a real weapon, particularly when he drops deeper into the midfield before then switching the play to a far wing back.